Perfect.
Hey, how you guys
Hello.
doing? This is KLA Cloud Wanderer. I have a guest. Her name is Brianna Lakin, if I'm
Lakin.
pronouncing
Yeah. Close
Lakin.
enough.
Yeah, you gotta forgive me. I'm not good at pronunciation sometimes.
Oh, you are so fine. It's normal.
Okay. I have a crazy last name myself.
See,
So
so you know how it is. Yeah.
yeah, people mispronounce your name and all that stuff, and So
hmm
how are you?
I'm doing great. It's a sunny day. Figured I'd talk to you guys outside. What about you?
Yeah. Just looking forward for the interview. Ain't really much happened today, but well, I was on a podcast and that was it.
Oh,
But other than
awesome.
that,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
What podcast was it?
All of age George Page Muscle Talk. He's a
Nice.
podcast. He interviews women with muscle bodybuilders, female bodybuilders. I'm used to saying women with muscles, female
I
bodybuilders,
mean,
and he
we
talk
are
about the
women with
sport.
muscle. Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about the sport when he this past episode we was talking about the New York Pro and
hmm
the winners Ashley Jones, she won women's bodybuilding in that
Yeah.
division.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
awesome
I
show.
attended. Yeah, I attended it. I went there Saturday. My first time going to the show.
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah.
you're in New York, so you're close by, right?
Yeah, but I had to travel, because it's in New Jersey, and so I had to
Oh,
take the Washington Bridge. As I live in Brooklyn, so in order for me to go to New Jersey, I had to go like somewhere like uptown Manhattan
yeah.
or the Bronx, like, and
Okay.
take the Washington Bridge to cross over to New Jersey. And I went there late. I missed the women bodybuilding and the physique. And
Dang.
I was watching, yeah, and I was watching the men's division. Nick Walker, he won it, and then the bikini I seen, I took some footage of it.
hmm
A young lady, a Latina that won it. I forgot her name. Forgive me if I forgot. But yeah, I noticed that people left on the bikini though, like majority, because they're not really into it, I guess, because they focusing on the bodybuilding part, and so
Yeah, it's got its ebbs and flows.
yeah, yeah, so
Yes, that's exciting. That's awesome.
yeah. So so we got a guest. Speaking of the devil, all the way George Page. Hey, also he says WMMA fighters he interviews also.
Oh, awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to. I'm sorry if I'm rambling. Um,
No, you're good. I love
like
it.
yeah. So how did I know I see your Instagram and you was on like a weight loss journey.
Yeah,
Like how did that
this
started for you?
It's been a crazy ride. I mean, I'm 31 right now, and from the time I can remember, especially as a girl growing up in society, from the time you get exposed to TV, magazines, um, you're always looking at your weight. And it was a means for me to finally kind of like commit to a weight loss journey and stop the yo-yo dieting after, you know 20 years probably of trying to go on diets. Us women go through it. And I had been diagnosed with PCOS, sick all the time. No matter what I did, my weight always went up. I would lose weight, but I'd always plateau around that 20-pound mark. My labs were terrible. I was sick all the time. So for me to finally sit down and commit to something so regimented, find a coach has really been the key to me. Um, Losing the weight and keeping it off, and also for my mental health. because
Right.
the dieting can be taxing for a lot of us women. So it's been a great journey so far. I can't complain.
So how did you like stumbled across bodybuilding?
I had been kind of at a point, and I feel like a lot of people feel like this after a certain amount of years going into the gym. You kind of, if you're somebody that likes a challenge and needs a goal, you start tapping out on getting bored. And so bodybuilding always kind of appealed to me. And I was kind of sitting there contemplating 2 years ago, do I want to do powerlifting or do I want to do bodybuilding? I kind of started training for powerlifting and realized that it's really hard on my body. I'm a hairstylist. For my income and my business, and standing on my feet all day and then lifting these huge loads of weight just wasn't going to be sustainable for me. So it kind of led into bodybuilding, and I had a girlfriend who did it. I saw her winning shows and doing her thing, and I was like, you know what, that's for me. I called her up and she kind of like pointed me in the right direction of finding a coach, and it just clicked.
Hmm. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So with the weight loss, like how you overcame that? Like I know you had like an eating disorder and stuff.
Yeah, so that was a big thing. Kind of going into this is realizing that I even still had that eating disorder, because what I thought I had healed on my own, I was eating food, but now I was binging. And I think it's something that's very typical, especially as a service provider. We worry about everyone else and we kind of forget to eat, or we feel guilty eating. And then at the end of the night, it's kind of like little bites of everything you have in the fridge, or I'm going to stop and get fast food and then I'm still hungry, so I'm going to eat when I get home. So having a coach kind of looking at my labs, looking at my hormone profile, seeing that my cortisol's high, my liver's not doing too well, we started kind of figuring out different times of the day. I do best on 5 meals a day, certain amount of like timing protein, carbs, and fat. And it's been really great, especially as a woman, keeping my hormone levels where they should be. And I think that's been the true key to losing the weight and keeping it off, is eating enough food, timing it correctly, and fueling your workouts correctly. So that's been
Yeah,
a huge thing for me.
yeah, yeah. I seen like a video on your Instagram where you was preparing food for like a lot of people at a party,
Yes,
and so
yesterday.
you was kind of yeah. Oh, that was yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was 5 o'clock
Wow.
in the morning till it was my boyfriend's 30th birthday, and if I'm a feed people, I'm a
Yeah,
feed people. So
yeah. Yeah, you had to you was tasting the food. You had to taste the food so it won't be
yeah,
bad. So that it seemed like it drove you crazy. Like to the average
yeah,
person, it probably wouldn't seem like a big deal, but I kind of understand you counting your macros and all that stuff, and
yeah.
yeah,
And it's like, it's different when you're in your off season and improvement season, because you have a little more leniency. You're building muscle, right? So if you eat a little bit more calories, it's going to be used to put on the muscle. But this far into prep, I'm 5 weeks out from my first show today. And yesterday,
right,
adding up all the spoonfuls of food, that was a real eye opener. And yeah, it was something that I didn't think was going to happen, but none of us are immune to it. So we just get back up the next day and keep going, and we're back on track today.
yeah. I could imagine it must be hard trying to always kind of battling, you know, food. Is it really that? Is it still tough for you, like to just like to conflicting with food?
You know, I feel like as a whole, I've reached a point where I think the big part of just society in general, we always celebrate and socialize around food, right? So there's this
Yeah,
deep emotional connection when you take a bite of food with the people around you and you're having a good time. You're getting that dopamine from hanging out with your loved ones, having a good time, and then the satisfaction of the food at the same time. So it really drives that home in your mind that food is something that's going to make you happy. So for me, I think I have reached a point. where I've kind of disassociated that feeling of happiness with food and kind of coming to an understanding that, I'm eating to fuel my body. Yes, I'm going to go out and enjoy in my off season a cheat meal, a date night, girl night. We'll eat some food, but my life and my happiness isn't kind of situated around social food events anymore. So I think
Yeah.
taking the emotion out of the food you're eating every day has been really important. And it's really hard to do for a lot of people when they're dieting because that connection is so strong in a bunch of different cultures. So that's
Right.
the most challenging. And yesterday was kind of an example of, here's this celebration, here's this happiness. I'm tasting this food. I haven't been getting dopamine from food. And now I got it. And you can kind of roll into it's almost becomes like an addiction. So
Yeah.
that's
What's
been
your meal
tough.
plan? Like,
What was that?
what's your? No, I was asking like, what's your meal plan like? Like for you,
Oh,
like your
yeah.
dieting and all that stuff.
So right now with me being on prep 5 weeks out, my coach luckily takes care of all my food. We've been working together since last January, so we have a good year and a half of kind of a food history of what works with my digestion and what fuels my body the best way and gets broken down. And me being a woman with PCOS, my prep food looks a little different than some other girls, and it's going to be different for everybody during a bodybuilding prep. It's really based off of your digestion system and your microbiome and how your body reacts. So for me, we're 5 meals a day. We kind of place it around whole foods. I'm not doing really any processed food except for artificial sweeteners, which I'm lucky I can have that in right now because some
Mhm.
girls can't have that. It messes up their gut. So typically in the morning, I'll wake up and do my fasted cardio. I'll start my first meal off with like ground chicken, blueberries, chia seeds, and a green supplement because, as we know, when we're in prep, the food gets low, and unfortunately, veggies take a lot of energy to digest. So, the greens powder gives me my, nutrition I should be getting from the veggies that I'm not. And
Yeah.
then I have a second and third meal usually when I'm at work that consist of either fish or shrimp and lettuce. I do avocado for my healthy fat. And either salsa or like that G Hughes sweet chili sauce has been saving my life as kind of like a dressing mixed in with tuna is really good. So I'll do those for a meal. I was doing a fish for my pre-workout, but we actually found out during refeeds that my body needs a lot more fat than what people would typically need during a refeed versus carbs. So we've added ground beef into my pre-workout to kind of keep me fueled and some rice before I go lift. And then usually I'll lift, do my cardio in the PM together just to get my second half of my workout in the day. And I come home and we actually just switched me off of protein shakes. We're pulling that because I need more food in my body. I'm hungry. So I'll come home and eat tuna and rice cakes, and that's the end of my night. Lots of tea and coffee in between to keep me full.
Oh,
So
that's
we keep it
okay.
simple and clean.
Always George Page says food is just as addictive as any drug. Yeah.
It
What
definitely.
is what is your like your thoughts on like they put like these substances in these foods?
Oh man. I mean, I just listened to a really great podcast about this the other day. And, I do a little bit of a coaching business on the side, and I see this with my clients too. It's like, we have labs in this country that sit there and
Yeah.
their main job is to find what's called the bliss point of a food. And it's like you think about it, you wouldn't eat a bunch of oil by itself. It would make you sick. That sounds disgusting. You wouldn't eat spoonfuls of sugar by itself, and you wouldn't eat spoonfuls of salt. But when you have them in the correct ratio in a food, we think about a cookie, how much butter, sugar, and salt goes into
Yeah.
that, where you wouldn't eat in one sitting. It's scientifically created to build on that kind of dopamine receptor in your brain. And it kind of, I think, is in a weird way constructed to kind of go back to our ancestors, where if we taste the fat, we taste the salt. we need to store that in our body to hibernate for winter or when food is scarce. So our body just tastes the salt and says, hey, there's minerals in this, even though there's not, and wants it. Hey, there's fat in this. This is going to be healthy for us to put on weight, even though it's not. So I think from a biological standpoint, they've tricked us into eating this food. And I do think it's there to make us sick. You know,
Yeah,
whether it's they just want to make money off of it, I get it. You know, we live in a world that's driven off of capitalism and money. They want you addicted to the food because it keeps you coming back. But I do think it's kind of coincidental that the same people that fund the research for the food are owning the companies that make the drugs and the insurance companies that keep us sick. So if you ask me, it's all kind of connected. I mean, it's
yeah, yeah,
undeniable right there.
yeah. I remember I used to work at McDonald's, and like the customers, they would come like every day, like especially
Yeah.
like the high school kids. They would
Yeah.
always
I mean,
just get the
that was
same
me. I
order,
remember my
chicken
first
nuggets.
job. Yep, Burger King. I would have to get off before my job, way out of high school. I
Yeah,
needed my large Coke. I had to have it. And I needed my chicken fries and I needed a large fry, or I could not start my work shift. And it was every single day. And
mm,
that's what made me happy.
wow, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the way George Page. I was thinking she was in her 20s. Yeah, you do look like you're
Thank you.
in your 20s.
I will
Yeah,
take that. I'm 31. When you
yeah.
moisturize your skin, you drink your water.
Well, I mean, you're not old. Like, I'm 48, so.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I
I
mean,
will
but
take
you
it.
got some nice, yeah, you got some nice pictures. Are
Thank
you,
you.
are you, are you, um, are you willing to stay? How long you gonna stay in wellness? That's what I'm trying to get out.
Yeah, so I really, it's my first competition season. I'm going to see what the judges say, but when we were talking to my coach, kind of trying to decide what division I would fit in, I definitely genetically am dispositioned to putting on muscle fast, and it's always been in my lower body. A lot of women with PCOS find that, especially in our legs, we just build muscle like nobody's business because we have that high testosterone, the high DHEA. So I think for me, I personally love the look of wellness, both in season and off season. I mean, what woman doesn't want the curves and a dominant lower body like those beautiful Brazilian
Yeah,
women walking around where this division came from? That's kind of
yeah.
the fad thing right now. So as of right now, I do really love it, but I also admire all of the other girls. I just think my body is more geared towards this division right now, and I definitely still have some growing to do.
Do you have like inspirations and stuff like that, or like somebody that
Oh,
you kind of
yeah.
like, wow, that you admire?
Yeah, I mean, definitely like Francielli. I mean, she's unbeatable right now. It's funny because I actually have a little vision board kind of in front of my cardio equipment that I made the beginning of this year,
Mm,
and Francielli's on there. Sumara Sarwar is on there. She actually just got her pro card this last season. I've really loved her journey. And I think she just became the first Bangladeshi wellness pro from that country.
mm,
So I thought that was pretty cool. But all Issa, all of these girls, I love it. Their look, they're so put together. They fit the category, I think, perfectly. And they just get better each season. So,
yeah. This is well, she was a bodybuilder and she was a physique competitor, and she's moving to wellness. Her name is Jada Beverly. Yeah, she
oh, yeah,
recently
yeah.
kind of announced it. Yeah, she
A lot
announced
of
it that
girls, I
she's.
think, are doing that too, which I think is awesome that they're coming out with, wellness is the newest division. But it just gives us a different category where we're not genetically fighting what our body wants to do. So these women can very easily step into the next one if it's something where they enjoy training more for, or if it's their body more. I think it's great.
Right. Yeah. Like so you was like with the health and fitness. What's this about? Like the picture you the
Oh,
before and after.
yes. So this is super exciting. I got this ad one day on Instagram that came up, and it's from the Hers Muscle magazine, her health and fitness. It's a really
Right.
popular health magazine. They have a men's version too. I'm sure you've seen it at the airport, the checkout stands in line at the grocery store. They run
I
this
see.
competition
Oh,
every year. Yeah, so a lot of people are familiar with it, and they do this competition every year, and it's for a man and a woman. It's a cover
right.
spread shoot, $20,000. And I said, what the heck, if I can share my story, it would be so awesome to be on the cover and help inspire other women, because who am I, just this regular girl that decided to embark on this journey? And I've had so many women reach out to me how relatable it's been and how great it's been to see another person going through this. So I signed up for it and we made the first cut last week. The second cut's this Thursday. It's a voting basis, so you're free to vote every day. You can either donate money to the B Plus charity for extra votes, or you can do a free vote by registering your Facebook on there every 24 hours. But I'm in it to win it. I mean, however far I go, it's a blessing to even just be chosen to be in the running with all these women. So figured why not?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Congratulations. Now
Thank
this is
you.
your yeah, this is like your first year competing. Like you I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
This is my
obviously
first
it's your first
competition
show.
season. Yeah.
How you feel nervous? Like really nervous or
It's so funny. I was just thinking about that this morning, along with all the other stuff. And I thought at this point, being 5 weeks out, I'd be so nervous. But I think just the women I've met along the way, and this first show I'm doing is the Tangi Johnson Classic. It's one of the only, I think it's the only women ran show here in the Pacific Northwest. They have it in Tacoma
mm,
every year. um there's so many girls that I've made genuine friendships with that are going to be competing in the same show. One of my best friends is going to be standing right next to me, and a bunch of my girls on the same team with the same coach. So I feel really good about this. I started my posing the second I knew I wanted to do this last year, even though I had no idea what I was doing. And I think just going through it, the motions day by day and practicing, I'm more excited that I am nervous now. It's like everything's coming full circle finally, and
yeah.
I think
For
maybe it'd be different on show day, but we'll see.
yeah. For like posing, like how long did it take you to get all the poses?
Oh man,
To work
let me
on the
tell you
poses.
something. If you've never done posing for bodybuilding today, it is something else. To twist and turn your body and flex and suck in and hold everything in tight while hitting these different angles in heels in a string bikini is one
Mm,
of the toughest things about this sport. And it's like,
right.
the sooner you get a jump start on that, it was really hard. I remember going to my first posing practice and driving home crying because I'm like, what am I doing? I had no
Mm,
idea. I got two left feet. I've never been a good dancer. I've never been on a dance team. I've never done choreography. So for me, that was the hardest part. And going
mm,
through the reps and having multiple posing coaches, including my coach, giving me direction and practicing, it's something that comes second nature now. So get your
yeah.
reps in.
Yeah, I heard of the lat spread is hard to a
Yeah.
lot of bodybuilders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's to engage your lats is something else. And it's funny because, bikini and wellness, a lot of our posings are the same. Bikini just has a mandatory front and back pose and transitions, whereas wellness has quarter turns, almost like figure and some of the other divisions do. You don't do a full lat spread, but in your back pose, you do want to flare a little bit because we know the illusion of a bigger, chest and shoulder makes the waist look smaller, and that's the goal. So to be in your back pose, kind of arching your back and pushing out and lat spreading without flaring too much, there's an art to it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not in that world, you know. I just like looking at bodybuilders. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked out. I even recently I had a trainer, but because of financial issues, kind of put that on hold. But
Oh
I
yeah.
do like meditation and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Um. always George Page. What do you like about bodybuilding?
Oh, that's a great question. Um, I could go on and on forever just in general about I
Please.
think the biggest thing is like the confidence that this sport gives you is there's nothing like it. Um, this has comfortably been the most empowering thing I've ever done, especially as a woman. Um, it just feels good, to accomplish those goals. And I think what I didn't expect out of this that I really admire about this sport, even though it's a one person and you're against every other girl on stage next to you, I've made the best friends out of this. And even though we're competing against each other, we all want each other to win. So the camaraderie of this sport, even though it's so, solitary and feels so alone sometimes, it's been a true blessing.
Yeah. Yeah, it don't always seem like a sport like basketball or football. It's just
Yeah.
different. Like with the posing, you just seeing them flex, and like even whether it's men or women, they're like half naked, and you just seeing it. And I mean, like I've seen it, in person where the crowd they get wild and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, and
It's
I'm
a
just
whole
like looking
different
at it.
world.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like even like certain terms, it's like I'm adjusting to it, so
Yeah.
it's different, That's all I'm
It's
saying. Like, it don't
it's
seem like
extreme.
it's so. Yeah, it is. It is extreme because I seen this bodybuilder and he was so huge, like he looked at like the Hulk, like he looked
Yeah,
like he
the
could
things
chase
that
me.
these competitors, I mean, especially the men's bodybuilding, I mean, I got to give it to them with the sacrifices, to walk around with that much muscle on your body is not
Right?
a healthy thing. The body
No,
was
it's
not
not.
meant to be putting that on. The strains on their cardiovascular system. I mean, their dedication and commitment to this sport is next to nothing, and it's something super admirable. And it's like, I've talked to other people about this, when you're on a team sport, you do your sport, you got your practices, you got your teammates, but this is, you're in charge of yourself. You got your coach kind of holding you accountable, but it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's mindset as much as it is physical. It's just, it does kind of control every day for you. It's extreme.
Yeah, I mean, like my another question I got, like like from your past experience of not not being healthy,
Yeah.
you're going to like almost another extreme, you being healthy, but it's kind of to another level, and you
Yeah.
get stressed out and fall out or anything like that.
Yeah.
How do you maintain that?
You know, That's that's a good question. It is true. It's almost in a way, and I think to the outside person that doesn't know a lot about this sport and hasn't done the research and kind of dived into it, it's easy to see from the outside going from, a binge disorder, eating disorder, that this almost seems like a disordered eating sport as well. And I think, it's great that social media is there because it has shown a lot of competitors coming out of this that have gone back into those past eating disorders or even heightened the issues that were there before. And I'm really glad that I did a lot of the mental health aspect of this going into this to know, this is something that easily could become out of control. If I start feeling like this is too much for me, I can always pull out. At the end of the day, your health is more important than anything else. But what we're doing in a contest prep, it isn't healthy. That's why after the show, there's that 2 3 month period where that reverse out of the diet is so important to stick with your coach with. Last year, when I did my initial weight loss and lost about 50, 60 pounds, we did a reverse. And I'm glad that we stuck to it because my labs, I mean, they speak for themselves going from being in the deficit to coming out of it. A big thing was my liver enzymes were super high. And when you detox that much fat and you're, a lot of the androgens, especially estrogen, are created in the liver, it can be taxing on the body. So making sure that you're keeping up with your blood work, have a coach that's reversing you out, that you don't just dump the coach after the show, because that's where you're really primed to put on weight. You're really primed to start an eating disorder, a binge disorder, especially. And I hear a story of these girls putting in 20, 30, 40 pounds in 1 week, and that's just not healthy. So
Yeah,
it is one extreme to the other, but there's a way to do it. And I think the guidance of a really knowledgeable coach goes a really long way.
yeah. All the rage George pays with little to no benefits. Yeah, I mean they put a lot to it, like they gotta pay for suit and
Yeah.
travel and yeah,
And
that that
it's
that's a
funny
lot.
because a lot of people ask me, why are you doing this? What's the prize at the end of this? Well, at the amateur level, maybe you get a gift card to the sponsorship, like the supplement company. Maybe you get a wolf pack, an overall
Mm,
title belt. You get a tiara that probably costs little to nothing to make, and a medal if you place. But I think the fact that you're doing something that, I mean, 90% of the population or better isn't even going to come close to touching, the journey and the mental aspect and the confidence you gain and the friends you gain and the experience is the true victory at the end of the show.
mm. He also says also remember to breathe when you're doing the postures,
Oh, yeah.
the
I
poses.
seen girls get faint.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, so yeah, check out some pictures of you. Wow.
Crazy.
How long do you stay like in the gym? Like do you work out?
Usually my lift on leg days, I try not to chat too much, but I love my gym. It's like a family in there. I try to get in and out in an hour, 15, hour and 30, including stretching and lifting. And I do my cardio at home. Really lucky I have a treadmill and a bike. And I turn my TV show on and try to get out of there within an hour and a half.
Yeah. You got some
The, you
nice
know,
friends, nice looking friends.
these are all, I mean,
Like what
competitors,
vis- what
strong
what
women.
vi- yeah, what divisions are they all in figure? I mean in what
So
wellness?
I'm over there, on the far, I guess it would be the left. The gal next to me with
Okay.
the orange hair, she actually is I figure, and I think she's dipping her toes into physique this year. She's been competing
Okay.
for a few years. Her name is Alex Edwards. She's really big on social media. She's done tons of shows. She's going
Oh
for a
wow.
pro card this year. She's amazing.
Okay.
If you guys have never checked out her channel, Roxy in the pink dress. She's super amazing. She's done a couple seasons. She's a wellness competitor as well. And Emma on, the far side in the red pants, she and her boyfriend actually own the gym that I go to, Westside Fitness, and she is going to be dipping her toes in this competition season too. We're actually doing the first show together. She's doing bikini and wellness, so she's crossing over.
Okay. Well, hope you do good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I got some clips that you can check out, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I put that there. How do
I
your
love
boyfriend
that.
yeah, how does he feel about you bodybuilding?
It was, I think it was a shock to him because we've been together. Wow, this October will be 7 years. And,
Okay.
when we first got together, I lived a different lifestyle. Um, my ex that I was with was very sick, and I took care of him through that, and he ended up passing away. So
Mm.
I had fallen into drinking, smoking, not really caring about living, to be honest. And he came in at a point in my life where I would say I was the most unhealthy. So I think for him, seeing me go from that, kind of almost shell of a person to so unhealthy to this has been a huge shock. But he's come around and he sees how much happier I am and how much healthier, how much more energy, how much more capable I am of doing things. So I think it's been, it's had its points where bodybuilding puts a stress on your relationship for sure. Tired at the end of the night during prep, but I think all in all, it's been better for both of us. And it's kind of, rubbing off on his lifestyle a little bit too. So,
Okay. Does he have any desire of bodybuilding, or he just
oh
want
no. He wants to get back in the gym, tone some things up. We
to?
have a trip to Hawaii in September, so maybe we can get a little six pack going or something so it feels good on the beach. But his is more just lifestyle, exercise, cardiovascular health, just being healthy. And that's
Okay,
fine. You
that's
don't need
good
to go
enough.
there.
Yeah, I know that's good enough. That's good enough. So
Yeah.
you're a hairstylist also.
Yeah, me and a
What's that
girlfriend own
like?
a salon together. It's great. I've been doing it from the time I got out of high school. So it's about 11, 12 years now. I get to make women feel beautiful all day long. I hang out with what feels like my friends all day long. It's awesome.
Okay. Oh, he wanted to ask. First competition. She's getting ready for her first competition.
Yeah, it's going to be June 22nd. If anybody wants to live stream it, it's the Tangi Johnson Classic. You can
Tansy
purchase the
John.
live stream.
Yeah.
It is in Chicago.
Oh no, I was just gonna tell you. Well, he promotes a lot of the shows.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
especially like in his channel. You know,
yeah.
he's like a yeah. He really supports the women because they
I
don't
love
really
that.
get that much. Yeah, they don't really get that much like you know. Because I
It
kind of see it for myself a little bit, like like mostly with the men, like people
yeah,
they really like into the men, like, I don't know why. I mean, I understand why, but it's like, I think the women are amazing as well too, but but the women, like, especially with like social media, like on YouTube, like there's a lot of people that talk about the men a lot, but they don't, not too many
yeah.
talk about the women. So yeah.
I think it's like any other sport, men dominate sports and they always have. It's that they like to watch men. It's hard for
Yeah, I
women in
mean,
the fitness space and sports space.
yeah, I mean, I mean, it is. I mean, I kind of understand it because, you know, most even women don't care too much about women's sports like that too. Like
Yeah,
they'll watch the men basketball or men's football or you know, and that. But when it comes to the women, like especially like the WNBA, I remember like somebody did like a survey about how many players that they know in the
hmm,
NBA than versus the WNBA. Like more
yeah,
people knew about the NBA, the men's NBA, than the women's NBA. So
yeah. Well, and I'm from Seattle. We lost our women's basketball team for a while. We got them back,
mm,
but I mean, they were gone for a while. They took it away from us. They said, "Nope, no room for women
mm.
basketball up here."
Yeah, the WNBA.
Mhm.
Oh wow, okay. I didn't even know Seattle had a WNBA team. Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
it's
Well, I mean, like I noticed, like I think, like college. I think the women like they stand out a little bit more than the
Yeah.
I would say that because I mean there was a little publicity, especially the girl I forgot her name, but like last year she was taunting this other girl, and so the other girl got back at her. It was the
Oh.
black girl and the white girl in different teams in the
See, and
college basketball.
I'm so outside of that world. I'm like, it's just the publicity of it.
No. They have the Supersonics now. They're the Thunder. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
I
think they
don't
might
think
have changed the name.
oh, okay. The
Mhm.
Seattle Supersonic that's the guys team though. That I
I
don't.
think I think we had the women's Sonics, and then
Oh, okay.
they got bought back again, and
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not exactly sure what happened with that, but it was a big old thing. I think it was only a few years ago. Recently, they've come back, so it's women in
Okay.
sports. It's a tough thing.
Yeah. Oh, he gave me the names. Thanks. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Yeah, they were standing out, on in the media.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's crazy.
so how yes. So how it is like with coaching others to be healthy.
It's something that I always wanted to do. It's really fun to watch these. I do mostly women. I have one male client right now, and my roster is real small because I'm in prep. I
Yeah,
only
I
have
think
maybe 5 people. But,
yeah.
being able to share and inspire and watch the other women grow and get this knowledge where they can take it with them the rest of their life and watching how empowered they've become, I just love it. It gives me another thing that fills my cup. Helps pay for my coaching because it's
Mm,
expensive, but I just love helping other people and it just makes me happy and I feel like it's kind of fully encompassing on the whole thing.
wow. Do you have like others that would be inspiring competitors or
Right now I have one male client that's talking about competing in the future. It's kind of just dabbling. We're doing his first cut. He's doing amazing. Working mostly on nutrition, but I think he is going to look into doing a competition season within the next year or two. So I'm super excited for him. And at that point, I will not be coaching him. I'm not at the point where, I'm going to coach a competitor through, especially males, because there's so much that goes into the male bodybuilding side of it that I just am not
mm,
comfortable in. But,
right?
that's the nice thing about networking is I have a ton of other people I can send him off to and know that he's in good hands.
Okay. Now, you got a coach. Yeah, I think you mentioned her name.
Yeah, her name is Danielle Rainwater. She's up here.
Okay.
She does
Okay.
mostly online. She's amazing.
How you stumbled across her?
When I was first thinking of doing this whole bodybuilding thing, I called up my girlfriend Tiffany, who was competing at the time, and asked if she had any leads on local coaches that I could reach out to. And she was one that came highly recommended. And I filled out the coaching questionnaire, and it was the second coach I interviewed with. And as soon as I talked to her on the phone, I knew she was just the one. We clicked perfectly personality wise, just meshed up really well. I loved her outlook on hormone health. She was willing to work with me as an athlete with PCOS, which was a huge thing on my roster, and she felt comfortable. So it's literally been a match made in heaven.
Okay. Well, I got another clip you wanna check out.
Sure.
You know. Did I ask you how long do you like work on those poses?
Um, I believe you may have, but it's been a good year and a half.
Okay, all right, all right. But what's like your favorite like workout routine?
Oh, being a wellness girl, I love any leg day. Any form of split squat, I think those are awesome. Hip thrusts are a staple. There was one phase in my training block where we were doing hip thrusts a few different ways 3 times a week. I do 3 leg days a week. Um, Anything that's going to hit that little tie-in area, because I think that's a hard part for a lot of us women to build up enough to show, um, and get conditioned down enough where you have enough muscle to show through. So I just love, I'm liking the split squats and the hip thrust right now. Those are my faves.
Okay. I got this last question. How far do you see
Oh yeah,
yourself competing?
that's a really good question. At the beginning of this, when I started last year, it was just about me getting on stage, and I was going to be content with that. It was a bucket list thing to even say I did it. But the more I grow into this sport and the farther I get along, I actually just had a talk with my coach about this. I do see myself going into this sport long term, and I would love, no, it's not going to be overnight. It's going to be a long journey, 5+ years probably, but I would love to get my pro card. I just think that this is where I belong, and it's been so good in so many ways, and I'm here to stay. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I wish you good luck. I mean, because it
Thank you.
takes, there's people that it took like 30 years.
Yeah.
I was talking with another lady yesterday, and it took her like 27 like competitions to get her pro card.
Yeah.
So
It's
28 competitions. So
amazing the dedication
yeah,
that it's admirable to compete.
yes,
And that's the thing is you're getting up and you might hit last place every time, but you got to keep getting up there. I mean,
yeah,
at some point it's going to be your time, and I think timing is everything, and I know my time will come one day, and I'm content with whenever that is.
yeah. All the way George Page says only wellness and widows like leg day. Hello.
Guilty.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity. That means a
Oh, of
lot to me.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah, this has
so,
been awesome. Super exciting.
yeah.
I feel honored.
If-
My first interview I've done. And I mean, like I said, who am I? Just this girl that woke up one day and decided to become a bodybuilder overnight. And now I'm doing my first interview as an athlete. So I appreciate the opportunity. It's been fun.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you because it's not easy trying to get, people to talk they like
Oh, I'm
their journey, especially like they reach to like the IFBB pro level and stuff. So,
mm-hmm. Well, you can always circle back to me. I'm down anytime.
yeah, no doubt. Best of luck all the way, George Page.
Thank you so much.
I want to appreciate George all the way, George Page, and everybody that's watching. Hit that like button, support this young lady, and
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
probably need to post your Instagram. Yeah, I have to. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
After we
it's
talk.
please follow along, show updates. I try to post on there every day. I'm transparent. Like you brought up, I had that little slip up yesterday. Nobody's perfect, but it's important to me to stay transparent so I'm relatable. I mean, we're not up there to promote lies, so
Yeah. You ever thought about having like a YouTube channel? Or
I
I don't know if
actually
it's
do have a YouTube channel.
Oh,
I
okay.
was doing this whole thing where I was posting once a week, and I'm burnt out. I'm not gonna lie. I'll do a show
Yeah.
day vlog. I kind of got behind it, but there is a few weeks up there. I will be posting more eventually on there. So if you guys want to follow me there, I'm sure I can send you the link and you can post it kind of down below in the description. But if you guys want to follow along, I would love to share my journey with you.
All right, no doubt. We will. We will. Best of luck. And when you get your pro card, we'll talk again.
I'll always be here. Thank you so
All right.
much.
All right. Thanks again.
Of course. Have a good night.